Hello guys, it's me. This is a quick introductory tutorial on Photoshop. I do understand that we have differing levels within the classes, and that's fine. I know some of you are familiar with this and you've used it before, and some of you are complete beginners. I don't mind whichever of the two you are, because I think within a few months we're all going to be pretty awesome at this anyway. So let's get started. I've got a few images here that I'm going to work with. And you can follow along, you can get your own images off the internet, you can use these images, I don't mind, whichever you prefer. So I've got an image of the school here. We're going to learn a few things. We're going to learn how to change the background correctly, well not correctly, but in a way that looks realistic. Instead of just deleting the sky and saying that looks great, we're going to do it so that the colours match, so the colours of the background and the foreground match, so that the edges are cut out correctly. We're going to add elements and make sure that they fit properly in certain parts of the scene. We're also going to give them a shadow, and we're going to delete elements. And I'm going to start straight away because this kid here, no idea who he is, but he's got to go. So I'm going to unlock my background layer and I'm going to press S. S is the clone stamp, which is this one here. But if you press S, that'll take you straight to it. And I'm going to change the size up here. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And then what this tool does is if you press Alt and hold it down and click anywhere and then release Alt, you can start painting, and you see that little cross that's to the right of the circle. Whatever's in that cross will paint into the circle. So it moves with the circle, so we get a bit of texture and it looks quite realistic. And then he's gone. However, there is like a horizon or where the grass ends behind him. So whenever that happens, I always recommend pressing Alt and clicking on the line. This applies to windows or buildings and things like that. And then you'll see that when you line it up, before you actually click, it gives you a little bit of a preview in the circle. So you just line it up correctly, click a few times, and then you can start painting below, painting above, whatever you need to do. Get rid of that person as well. And then voila. Kind of realistic, but you can do it better. This is quite a rushed version, just so you understand how to do it. But he's gone anyway, so no more. Let's change the background and let's do it in a nice way. I've got a few images here. No, I meant Stasera. I've got a background here. I'm going to drag it on top. And I'm going to drag the corners. If you just drag the corners, it'll do this. However, I don't like doing it like that because it distorts the image. So if you hold down Shift, you will get, it will move and maintain its shape at the same time. And that's what we want. And I'll just press Enter or tick at the top. I'm lazy, so I'll press Enter. And we've got that in place there. Okay. Now, we've got our two layers now. We've got our background, which I can turn on and off using the eye, and we've got our foreground here, which I can also turn on and off. I need to change the order, so I'm going to drag this below. I'm also going to rename them really quickly. You don't have to do this, but I recommend that you do, because sometimes when you've got 15 layers, that's when you start to get confused and don't know which one is which. Double click on the text, and you can give it a name. Got background in school. Great. Next, I'm going to press W, which is the quick selection tool, which is up here. And with this, make sure that the center one, which is the plus, is selected. With this, I can change the size. And I can select the sky really quickly. If it's a good image, it will do it really well. If it's a patchy image that you found on Google, it may not read the lines very well. And as you can see, these colors are very similar, so it's kind of cut the ceiling off, or the roof off. If that happens, press this negative one here, this minus button, and this will take away certain parts of the selection that we're trying to make. So I can draw along here just to get rid of that, and you know how it goes. So I'm going to make sure that the roof is selected. It doesn't have to be perfect right now. And yeah, great, fine. So what we do with this now, we want to right click and we want to select inverse. And what that does, that selects everything else. So everything that you selected, which was the sky in this case, this selects everything that you didn't select. So I'm going to select inverse, and then I'm going to press select and mask. Now, what you can do, you can change the transparency. I'm not going to have it as 100, I'm going to just have it a little bit less. I'm going to select the smart radius, and as you can see, when I move that, you can see that the edges will start to straighten out or change. Do it until you're happy. Every image will be different, so you need your professional judgment on this, okay? This doesn't look great, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead with it. As you can see, you can smooth things out. The feather you will use with other things, but in this case it's not really necessary because it kind of blends them together, which we don't want. Contrast a little bit. And then yeah, that will do it. If I press decontaminate colors, that looks okay. Yeah, I don't mind that. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that for now. You can be more perfectionist if you want. Press OK. And there you have it. Our background has changed. Now, it looks okay. But the blue sky here and the blue sky there, they're different colors. The green here and the green there, they're different. Let's fix this. Select the background. You want this square here that's being created. It's on the copy. The other one's being hidden. You can delete that, but just leave it for now. And press Command and U, and this opens up these little options. If you ever forget that, just go to Image and Adjustments, and they're all here. And it's this one, Command and U, Hue and Saturation. And I just want to lower the saturation down on this because it's really bright compared to the image there. Don't go crazy and hide her up. It's something that you shouldn't look to adjust too much. And that looks fine. Now I want to change this blue sky because I want it to match this one. I'm going to select the background layer, Command and U, it takes me back there again, and I'm going to target just the blues. I'll press blue here and I'll lower the saturation. And almost matches if I take this cyan down a little bit as well. That's fine, it's not perfect, but it's fine. I can actually change the color of the blues. Maybe if I just do it a little bit, it'll match it more. Yeah, it does actually. Great. That will do. And I can also target my greens and yellows so that you can see this part over here. Actually, I'm going to change the color of it a little bit of the green. Now look at that, it kind of matches, yeah, it's a lot better, okay? There are other things that we can tidy up, like the white in these trees, but you know what, you can do that. So yeah, we've kind of put the school in the Dolomites, and that's a good start. We got rid of that kid, because he just didn't belong. And great, let's add some things, okay? Because we're in the Dolomites, I've got a poster of Cortina. Now you're probably wondering why it does that, if it does that. It's because it's above this level, but it's below this layer. So I'm just going to press tick for now, and I'm going to drag it to the top. So it's above everything. I'll press the move tool here, top one, and I can move it around. I can press shift and make it smaller proportionally. Now I want this to be a poster on the wall. However, as you know, if I just stick it on top, it doesn't really look right. Doesn't fit. It's not the same shape. This school's on an angle. This isn't. How do we fix that? I will show you. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller first, and then make sure. Yes, I'll place. Make sure you're using this tool, the top one, and make sure that Show Transform Controls is selected. Should have told you that before. And when it is, if you press Command, then on any of the corners you can change the shape of it. You can drag it, and I'm going to use these window panes as a guide and just drag it into so that it looks kind of nice. And there we have it. It's in there. what I'm going to do is just press Command and U on this, and I'm going to lower the saturation because it's a lot brighter than the rest of my image. And do that. Okay, and if I zoom out, as you can see, it kind of looks like it's supposed to be there, kind of. I could tidy it up a little bit, or you could, by just selecting it again. I can see that this corner needs to be a bit higher, but let's not be too meticulous right now. And let's just accept. Okay, so that's in there. Now I have a billboard. I'm going to drag this in there, and I'll just press enter and place it. I'm going to hide my other layers for now. You don't have to do this. So I'm just concentrate on this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to press the W again, the quick selection tool. I'm going to select this really quickly. And if I press select the mask again, once I've got that selected, I don't need to press inverse this time because this is the thing that I want to place. I'm not changing the rest of it. If I select the mask, we've got it there. We can play around with it so that it looks a bit smoother. There's a little bit of blue in there, but we will. That's something that we can cut out later. Don't need the feather. Now with the move tool, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, holding shift here, and I'm going to just stick it anywhere, I don't care. The purpose of this is I want to show you how to add shadows. Okay, just let's leave it like that for now. And then how do we add a shadow to this? Easy. We press Command and J with that layer selected. Which is here, Command and J, and that gives us this layer again, this billboard again. If you move it, you'll see that there are two of them, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip it. Actually, I kind of want it like this. And I'm going to place it like a shadow. I'm going to press Command and drag the corners so that it looks a bit like a shadow would look. And that's quite good, okay? I'm not going to go over the top with this. I'm just going to try and place it nicely like that. Now, I'm going to press enter there. Okay, I'm going to press tick, and I'm going to go to the paint bucket tool, which is here. If the gradient tool is selected like this, just hold it down and change it to paint bucket tool. Make sure your foreground color is black, which is here, and then just color it in. Just keep clicking on it until it goes all black. That's what I'm going to do. Does it look like a shadow? Let's be honest, it doesn't. But we're going to make it look like a shadow. We're just going to go to filter. We're going to press blur and Gaussian blur. I recommend this one for this type of action. Blur it out a little bit. You can see these colors here. I need to delete that. We'll do that separately. Just a little bit, just so the corners are blurry. And then lower the opacity. With that layer selected, click on opacity here and lower it. And as you can see, yes, let's be honest, it looks like a shadow. You would believe that. Of course, you can be a perfectionist, which you should be, and try to adjust it a little bit more. That's what I would do. But this is just showing you how to get it in place, okay? How to get the basics of it, okay? So we've kind of got a shadow there. So there you have it. If we want to add text to this, just press T and drag it on, and then you can write whatever you want. Ciao. You can change the type of text. Just make sure you've got it highlighted. Up here. And the size here. And the color here. Yeah, it's already white. You can then do what we did before. Once you've placed it, you can use the move tool, you can select it, and you can change its shape so that it fits properly on your billboard. Lower the opacity a bit. There you go. So these are the basic things that you've learned. We're going to be using those quite a lot, but there are many more things that we're going to cover as well. Give it a try. Let me know.